Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lathifa Puan Azizah from English Department Batch 21 Class A, and in this video I would like to explain about 7 videos that I have watched before. So stay tuned. The first video is with the title The Benefit of a Bilingual Brain. Bilingual or multibilingual people's brain actually look at work differently than those who only speak one language. So, how their brain work? Language ability is typically measured in 2 active parts, speaking and writing, and 2 passive parts, which is listening and reading. A balanced bilingual should use their language in various proportions. There are 3 types of bilingual. First one is compound bilingual. They learn language simultaneously with a single set of concepts. The second is coordinate bilinguals. They work with 2 sets of concepts. They speak the first language in one place and then speak the second language at the other place. The last is subordinate bilinguals. They learn the second language by filtering it through their primary language. Learning a language in childhood is easier than learning language when we're already grown-ups. It's because children's brains are more elastic in developing brain hemispheres in language acquisition, while in adults, language is often used on the left side of the hemispheres. But despite of how you acquire additional language, being multilingual gives your brain some remarkable advantages. Learning languages give us higher density of gray matter that contains most of your brain's neurons as synapses and more active in some part of brain. Being a bilingual can also help delay some diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia for around 5 years. The second video is the science of falling in love. This video tells about how brain deals with one of humans' feeling, which is called love. It starts from the first stage of love, which is called infatuation or passionate love. As you begin to fall for someone, you may find yourself excessively daydreaming about them and wanting to spend more and more time together. At the first stage, it may be hard to see any fault in your new perfect partner and feels like riding a roller coaster of emotions and brain activity, which only lasts a few months, making way for the more long-lasting stage of love, known as attachment or compassionate love. As your relationship develops, you may feel more relaxed and committed to your partner, especially when you're spending your time together. But as your love begins to fade, problems in your relationship may become more evident. No matter the duration a relationship ends, we can blame the pain that accompanies heartbreak on the brain. You may find yourself once thinking about your ex-partner and memories that you have made before. But as time goes on, you can heal from the heartbreak by doing your favorite activities such as exercise or listening to your favorite song. The third video is about 6 signs and symptoms of ADHD. So, what is ADHD? ADHD or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder is a disorder marked by an ongoing pattern of inattention or hyperactivity that interferes with functioning and development. Though ADHD is diagnosed during childhood, it can also affect adults. In this video, there are 6 symptoms of ADHD that mentioned. The first one is inattentiveness. It means not being able to pay attention and focus on one task. Second symptom is hyperfocus. They become super focused on one thing so that they forgot about everything around them. To prevent hyperfocus, we could prioritize our tasks and do it one by one. The next one is impulsivity, which could be interrupt others during conversation or rushing during tasks. The fourth symptom is disorganization. A person with ADHD has struggled in organizing everything and keep them in the right place. The fifth one is mood swings. It's actually not an inherent symptom of ADHD, but someone with ADHD may have experienced mood swings or irritability. To deal with it, you could write about your feelings every day so you could track your emotion and prepare for the next mood swing. The last one is lack of motivation, which is the common sign of ADHD. Usually feel unmotivated to do some tasks at once. Now we move to the fourth video with the title, Why You Procrastinate Even When It Feels Bad. So maybe some of us may have experienced procrastination at least once in our life. Procrastination is when we avoid a task we would do for no good reason, despite expecting our behavior to bring negative consequences. So why we do procrastination? Procrastination is the result of our bodies trying to protect us, specifically by avoiding a task we see as threatening, which is in fact not as bad as we thought. To break the cycle of procrastination, we need to address and reduce these negative emotions by breaking a task into smaller elements or journaling about why it's stressing you out and addressing those underlying concerns. You can also remove distractions that make it easy to impulsively procrastinate. Now I will talk about the fifth video with the title, Where Did English Come From? As you can see in the title, this video talks about the origin of the English language. Have you ever wondered why the dialects spoken in dozens of countries around the world have in common with each other? The answer is like the most languages, English has evolved through generations of speakers undergoing major changes over time. While modern English shares many similar words with Latin-derived Romance languages such as French and Spanish, most of those words were not originally part of it. It is because the Norman invasion in 1066, when the French-speaking Normans conquered England, they brought their speech with them, adding a massive amount of French and Latin vocabularies to the English language previously spoken there, which is called Old English. So that is the root of the modern English language. And the sixth video is titled, Why Are Eating Disorders So Hard to Treat? Okay, so eating disorders are a range of psychiatric conditions characterized by these main patterns of behavior: restricting food intake, binging or rapidly consuming large amounts of food, and purging or eliminating calories through vomiting, laxatives, excessive exercises, and other harmful means. An eating disorder can involve anyone or any combination of this behavior. You can't tell whether someone has an eating disorder. Someone who weighs in a healthy range or someone who eats differently from others also can have eating disorders. We still don't know exactly what causes eating disorders. Sometimes other mental illness like depression or anxiety can cause symptoms of eating disorder. Certain psychological factors such as perfectionism and body image dissatisfaction are risk factors for eating disorders. Several social factors contribute too, including internalized weight stigma, exposure to bullying, racial and ethnic assimilation, and limited social networks. Although these are among the most challenging psychiatric disorders to treat, effective therapies and intervention exist, and many people who receive treatment make a full recovery. Treatment usually includes a combination of nutritional counseling and monitoring, psychotherapy, and in some cases, medications. Evidence-based psychotherapies exist as a treatment for most eating disorders, including cognitive behavioral therapy and family-based therapy. These are top therapies that help people gain skills to deal with underlying psychological problems that drive eating disorder. symptoms. And now we come to the last video with the title, A Brief History of Goth. When we heard a word goth, it may came two different things in our mind: a post-punk music genre and ancient barbarians. But did you know that these two things actually have connection? It began in ancient Rome when they expanded their territory. Among the most powerful group in Rome were a Germanic people known as Goths, who were composed of two tribal groups, the Visigoths and Ostrogoths. In the 5th century, a mercenary revolt led by a soldier named Odoacer captured Rome and deposed the Western Emperor. Odoacer and his Ostrogoth successor, Theodoric, technically remained under the Eastern Emperor's authority and maintained Roman traditions. Its dominions fragmented into kingdom ruled by Goths and other Germanic tribes who assimilated into local cultures. And this was the beginning of the Dark Age. Although Roman culture was never fully lost, its influence declined and new art styles arose focused on religious symbolism and allegory rather than proportion and realism. The shift extended to architecture. Pointed arches, flying buttresses, and with large windows made the structure more skeletal and ornate. This is more like open, luminous interior than sturdy walls and columns of buildings in the classical period. Over the next few centuries, this became a model for cathedrals throughout Europe. But in the 1550, a person named Giorgio Vasari in his book Lives of the Artist mentioned Gothic as a derogatory reference to the barbarians though to have destroyed classical civilization. The name stuck and soon came to describe the medieval period overall, with its association of darkness, superstition, and simplicity. In the 70s, which is called in the 100 and 700s, which is called the Enlightenment period, some Romantic authors visualized Gothic as part of natural landscapes and mysterious spiritual forces, which is turned into a literary genre that emerged as a darker strain of Romanticism. The Gothic label belonged to literature and film until the 1970s when a new musical scene emerged. Some British pop-punk groups combined gloomy lyrics and punk dissonance with imagery inspired by the Victorian era, classic horror, and androgynous glam fashion. By the early 1980s, similar brands were consistently described as Gothic rock by the music press. And today, despite occasional negative media attention and stereotypes, Gothic music and fashion continue as a strong underground phenomenon. Okay, that's enough from me. Thank you very much and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.